for a year, because I told you, I'm like, oh, I just tried it for a year, then I come back. I'm like, I can do another year, actually. No.
And now you're a homeowner.
Yeah.
In Miami. Look at that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited.
That's so exciting for you.
Yeah.
So before we get into what you do, I want to get into what you do.
Yeah.
Our first encounter was by accident with these cards, where we asked. So I just want to do it a little differently, because, you know, the first time you interviewed us.
Yeah.
And today it's not about an interview, it's about a conversation amongst friends. So we'll take turns.
All right.
First.
Let's go.
And so you get to pick two, obviously one for me, one for Joe, and then we'll do this and we'll go around.
I love this one because I already know the answer. Hold on. Am I asking you both or?
No, you're picking two. So
I'm picking two.
I go first.
This one. Okay.
You want that one for me?
Yeah.
I'll answer. Or you can direct that one to Joe, whatever you want.
No, actually, I think this should be for Joe. Okay, just because.
Go for it.
If you could design and build a room of your own, what would it look like?
Oh, that's definitely for Joe.
So we have a vault
Yeah.
door so that I don't be bothered. And stop Luna and Remy from trying to come in.
Remy's a dog, by the way.
Yeah, Remy's our 7-month-old.
Not the rapper.
7
But it would be plush and mid-century modern and funky colors, kind of like what's our aesthetic now.
Yeah.
But definitely a vault door so I can lock the
Vault door. Oh, I never would have guessed. I definitely would have said the color, the personality, the vibe.
Color, like vibe.
There's vibe for sure.
Yeah.
Huh. Awesome.
He's an introvert.
Yeah. But I like the vault door.
Yeah.
Not me. We're such extroverts. We're like, I want everyone to come into my house.
No door.
There's a party today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. I want everyone here.
You know, it's funny because I feel like that was never my personality growing up. I feel like it was the whole like in the closet thing that prevented me to be my true self. I feel like now at 36, I feel like I am who I was always meant to be. Unapologetic, gay, loud.
Yeah.
And sometimes I pay the price for it. Because again, society, not everybody's cup of tea, but that's okay because I sip champagne.
Champagne. Mimosas.
Mimosas.
I'm glad you said that. The other day I found these cassette tapes.
Oh my
God.
God.
I know.
I used to listen to Selena albums on a cassette tape.
Really?
Jumping up and down my
That's aging us. So the cassette tapes of, back in the day where you would record on the actual the camera, right? So these little cassette tapes, and I'm like, how do I play this? Like, anyways, I went online, they converted it to whatever, online, iCloud, whatever. And then I started playing. I had no idea what were in these cassette tapes. No idea.
No.
Anyways, I was 14 years old. And it was me and the most random things that I could think of. So going back to the personality, I looked at all the videos. There were like 5 of them, and all 5 of them, I said after each video, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't changed. I have been the same extroverted person since I was 5, 14, 15, 16, 20, 34.
And there's a misconception to that theory because, like I mentioned earlier, it was Diana's pool party for her birthday. And I decided I liked you. But we've met various times. We talked on the phone about business at the time. You were working for the clinic that was, exercising Luna.
Creating Luna.
Creating Luna.
Yeah.
And we both agreed, and I don't care to say to your face, we both were like, yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, and that's
because when you're an extrovert, like sometimes people assume that we're trying to hide something.
Yeah.
So some people can take that as a facade. And I don't believe that. Like I always tell people, I am who I am. I told this to my employee yesterday. We had a heart-to-heart, and I said, listen, I know I have to act like a boss, but I left corporate America for that reason. I don't like that black and white and cold feeling. I like to be myself.
Yeah.
At all times.
So did you guys think I was too much of an extrovert, or no, not enough? What did you think? Now I'm curious.
Well, my opinion, I'll be honest with you. My opinion was just like I felt like you were faking it.
Really?
It wasn't until that day, and I'm like, no, this is who you are. Like I thought you were faking being nice.
No.
And I get that same thing told to me before.
Yeah. No.
Where I make friends with extroverts for some reason. I married one. An introvert. I'm sorry.
Introvert, yeah.
Introvert. Yeah, I married one. And I get the whole, oh, you were a bitch, and then we became friends.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very
It's
interesting.
more. I'm more of the type that sits back and kind of just observes
Mm-hmm.
and sees and looks to say, okay, do I like this person? Do I not like this person?
Yeah.
You know, or is this person trying too hard? So for when we met you, it was, to me, it was kind of like, wait, you're a little too close to home. You know our journey.
I think that spooked him.
Yeah.
Struggles.
Because
Yeah.
it was the first day that we met. It was in Terrytown, and
Yeah.
that's when you were like, wait, I work there.
Yeah.
And I feel like that spooked him.
Yes, things like that. It's more so now that we have. I feel like with me specifically, I've become more introverted since I've had a child versus more of an extrovert. Because again, you're kind of getting into this mode where it's like, you know, fight mode. Like, you know, no matter what happens, I gotta be on guard at all times. And you know, so to me, it was just like, wait, she's a little too close to home. She knows a little too much.
Let's not open up to her. Yeah. No, that's
But
interesting.
No, we've, you know, again, everybody says it takes some time to get
Yeah.
to know and love
Yeah.
me, and I'm absolutely okay with
Yeah.
that. I don't want everybody to love me
Yeah.
all the time, but you know, we've.
Joe is one of my hardest critics, and it took a while for me to appreciate that. Because I got offended the day that Joe left his job to say, oh, you can't run your business. You need my help. But at the same time, the first tax season that J Squared had, he was still working at the law firm. He was concerned because he's like, oh my God, all this money is in a bank account. I have to consult an attorney. So he realized, he thought I was going to make pennies or I was going to make barely enough. Because I told him, listen, have faith in me. I'm going to do something crazy. And I'm going to go on my own. This is the year before it was the year we got married. And I said, I'm going to go on my own and I'm going to try something. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, I'll get a job. And I haven't looked back since. And he's always like, you tell people too much. And I agree. I do. And sometimes I'm learning now at 36 that I have to protect my peace.
Yeah.
And it's a really big thing now, especially because I have a family. Because when you get to a certain point, you got there I got there because I had nothing to lose. And once I got there, I realized, shit, moving forward, I have everything to lose. But at the same time, I can't stop being me. I have to share I call my life, everyone's life, it's called the University of Life.
Yeah.
No college is going to teach you the things that we learn after we leave school behind. And I believe that if I live my life like an open book and I share my stories, it would help other people.
Yeah.
That's how I've advised you and many of my clients. Because it's like, listen, this is what we did. Like, we got here not because someone gave it to us. We got here because we made proper decisions and we got here.
And we also made a lot of mistakes. And
It comes with the mistakes,
other part,
yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, everybody assumes that, you know, even with our journey to have Luna and create our family and open up a business and, you know, buy our first car and buy our first home, you know, we weren't fortunate enough to have certain people in our lives to guide us all of the time. But then when we were being able to find people to guide us, we've kind of held on to them. It was like, okay, it's a different type of friendship, you know? And it's a different level of friendship where it's like, okay, not only can I, you know, be your friend, but I can also rely on you. I can, you know, take your advice. And nowadays, you know, to find a genuine person that just wants to be your friend.
So, talking about something related to our topic, we had a conversation off camera last time about me potentially giving the eggs in the freezer to my cousin.
By the way, I was in Spain at that moment at a friend who's a friend. She's actually an attorney that helps parents worldwide.
Really?
Do this around the world. It was her birthday and I was in Spain and we were out, we were eating and drinking and having fun. And then you call me and it's like 2 a.m. for me. He's like, I need help now. And I'm like, okay, tell it to me. So anyways, tell me. You call me desesperado.
Use you know, you were very much, no,
Yeah.
don't do it. That's the emotional connection. It's not, and again, and so I tell, you know, I'm in a group chat,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, so we all told you no, and you were like, you're gonna do it anyway." But
But then
Linda
you
said
said
no.
no, now
And
you're gonna
now
say
it's
no.
like I'm gonna say no, and it's like sometimes you have to hear it from
No.
somebody that's outside of your realm,
And
so
in
you
that
can-
world.
and
Yeah.
in that exactly,
And has
I went to you
seen.
for- exactly 'cause
Yeah.
of the experience
Yeah.
you've had.
Yeah.
Profession.
And they're constant questions that parents are asking me. So it's not like you're the first person that's asking me,
No.
should I donate these embryos or not? Like I literally get that question every single day. And then I see the beautiful side of it and then I see the not so beautiful side because they tell me about it. So you're right. So sometimes it takes an outside person that has experience and has knowledge. And going back to what you were saying, that we growing up, maybe when you started your businesses, we may not have had those friends initially, but now we do. Right. So now I can call you and I can say, hey, so I kind of want a life shift. And you will say, go to Florida.
Right.
You know, so again, we're friends, but you will tell me this is what I would do based on my experience, based on what
Based
I
on my
see on a day-to-day
knowledge,
basis.
exactly.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of networking and being in business. There's a dark side to it, but it's a beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that our friends don't like you. My husband gets very
No, they don't like
Dramatic.
They're jealous.
He
They're
gets
just a little
very
jealous. They're
obsessive.
just a little jelly.
He has like this thing where he just like he loves Carol G right now. So everything possibly in our life is some way somehow associated. So they're
With
like
Karol
that's the
G.
color of her hair. That's the shoes she had on.
Obsessive now.
You know.
Who is it?
And last episode he will be on. I hope you guys know.
Yeah.
So enjoy Joe now
My
because
daughter
you'll
knows
never
how to
see
ask
him
Alexa,
in the next
but,
episode.
You know,
Play Karol G.
And it's like now we got Alexa playing Carol G on kids Amazon. Like what's going on here? You know?
Yeah.
But, so no, it's not that our friends, again.
You're not
they've-
even in the group chat. What are you talking about?
Our friends have been a part of our lives from the beginning.
Yeah.
They've seen people come and go.
Yeah.
They've seen us get hurt. You know,
Yeah.
they've seen, and again, as I was saying earlier, we're on fight mode all the time, or at least I feel like, you know, I have to be reserved or be
Yeah.
a little bit more distant.
He's mad because Chief made the candles go down.
You know, for example, rearranging my house.
Wow.
I get a little like aggressive about something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But you know, our friends are like, well, what is this person's intentions? You know, what is this person looking to get?
Yeah.
And you know, unfortunately, when you've had those bad experiences, you know, it's kind of like maybe we need to be a little bit more reserved.
Yeah.
So our friends are fantastic.
Yeah.
They've been with us since we were
You're real
18.
friends, yeah.
I hate you. I just
Yeah.
jelly.
Same thing. Honestly, same thing with my friends that have seen me since you know I was a child, and I don't get to speak to them as much as I probably speak to my other friends, just because of the phase that I'm in right now. Honestly, it's just the phase that I'm
Linda
in.
must be on a flight right now. Linda must-
Exactly. Like I speak to you more than I probably speak to my best friend. It's not that I don't like her, and I'm sure she feels you know a
That's
little
the
little
relationship I
bit
have
type
with
of
my best
way.
friend.
Like
I feel
okay, you
like-
have time to speak to your accountant, but you don't have time to speak to me. Like you know I'm your best
If
friend.
you're- but I see with my best friend, I feel like I can pick up the phone and it's like nothing ever.
Oh yeah, same with my friends. I can literally call them. You know, I think this a few days ago I called them.
In our lives that understand that.
Yeah.
Especially when we're growing, we're producing. Like my client's 45 and he's already on I was on a conference call yesterday with his financial planner, and we were going over his accounts and strategizing. This man purposely said, "Okay, before I hit 50, I don't want to work."
Ooh,
That's the goal.
So again,
he's single?
what-
I'm kidding.
No, married with kids.
No.
But my thing is like, the fact, but the portfolio is. I mean, I've seen bigger. So the portfolio is good.
Yeah.
But my thing is like, you said this is what I need to survive until I die,
Yeah.
and that made me reflect, and I made an appointment with my financial planner because
Yeah.
I said, wait, why am I not doing what he is doing?
I thought we were semi-retired already. I guess
Because I keep working, Joseph.
I'm semi-retired at least.
It would be lovely to be retired by
I would love that.
45, 50.
You just like gave credit to everything I've always said about you, so I don't know why you said that.
It's okay. I'm semi-retired. It's fine.
But I love to sit in the reception desk because
Yeah.
I love to see what's happening with my business. If my employees are giving advice to a client, I'll
You wanna
chime
hear
in.
that.
I want to make sure that people are doing the right thing because I care about what I've built.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears literally went into the first office because we got everything from IKEA. And I don't know how to use the power tool. So
I can imagine your power tool. You should see my power tools. It's a little teeny tiny little bag that's pink.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I don't even know how to call it. My friend the other day, he's like, hey, she texted me, Amira. She'll know.
I love Amira.
I know. She'll text me. She was like, hey, do you have a drill? I was like, is that the one?
Well, Joe helps by not helping with stuff like that.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I watch or I keep company. I get water. I move
I
boxes out of the
would
way.
die having to put together an office that I have to build. There's no way. I would be like, you know what? There's no business.
So I'm like safe.
No, there's no business. There's no me. I don't know. I'm like, is it the juju one? And the juju one is pink. Everything inside that little bag is pink.
So
It's a
I
pink
want a
screwdriver.
gun, and Joe won't let me get one.
Why would you need a gun?
No.
Because I want.
I know, no. I would not trust you with a gun.
Glitter, so when I shoot the bullet, it's. I want a gun. I want a gun.
No. That sounds really dangerous
The
because
first
I can
time-
imagine like someone like you or like me
Both.
be like, I wonder how this works.
Carolina, the first time we shot a gun. Joe shot an AK-47 and he got nervous
Terrifying.
and told the guy,
I hate guns.
Then I go my turn. I shoot it and I'm like, can I go again? I don't know.
You liked it? Oh, not me.
I mean, we were shooting into the woods, so I mean, it's like
What do you
shooting
need?
someone.
I know, que susto. I know. That way, en ese sentido, I'm so like Spanish. Like,
You know.
las pistolas son del diablo.
Really? I'm
Literally. Las pistolas son del diablo. Hell no.
So
No.
we're not promoting guns.
He's not letting
We're
me.
allowing
He's
guns.
not letting me get a gun.
Good.
We
I think that's
we
great.
do not stand behind guns.
Good. I think you guys are a perfect combo for
No,
sure
we're
because.
Everybody says
Yeah.
that what Joe is. Joe's the balloon and I'm the weight.
Yeah.
Physically the weight and actually the weight, you know? So he's the one that's slapping the air.
Yeah. You're the one grounding him.
I haven't left him because the dating world today is shit.
Don't
That's
remind me.
crazy.
Let's not talk about that in camera, actually. Let me grab a drink right now. Cut that part.
But it's true. We have to talk about it because it's real. I mean, in your business, how many clients have you encountered that decided to embark the journey by themselves without a couple?
A lot, actually. It's growing. At the beginning, no. I think the majority of my clients, I have really, every like same-sex male couples, heterosexual couples. And then lately, I would say in the past year, I'm getting a lot of single men,
Okay.
not gay.
Oh, wow.
Because they feel that's the first thing that they say. That's the first thing. No, they initially say, I'm not gay. I'm like, okay, I didn't ask if you were gay, but okay. Like, yeah, so single parents, it's very, very, very common.
Okay.
Single mothers as well. I think lately I've just been getting like a burst of single, fathers, like male that want to do this, but females as well. And I think yesterday I was just having this conversation with one of my donors she donated with me previously and we're the same age. And we were talking about this and I'm like, listen, it's so difficult. Like, I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all.
People want to be mothers.
From the moment I could remember, I have always wanted to be a mom. Like, if you could see me, if I could see me at 4 or 5 years old, I probably was running around, grabbing a baby, putting her in the stroller. Huh?
I have a granddaughter.
You have a granddaughter? Mm-hmm. How do you have a
Baby
granddaughter?
alive. We bought her.
Oh,
And Luna's obsessed.
So now Luna, like yesterday,
Yeah.
she's like, Daddy, can you buy me diapers? I need a lot of diapers for my baby.
So
that was me. That was me. I knew from a very early age that I wanted to be a mom. And you have this idea your entire life, right? When you're 18, you're like, well, by 30, Actually, not even by 30. When you're 17, you're saying, well, 25, I have 2 children, I'm living in a house, I'm married. And then you hit 25, I'm like, whoa, Exactly. And then you're like, okay, by 30's it. And then you reach 30 and you're like, whoa. Like, this is so. And it's because it's a lot more difficult to date, I think, now than it was previously. So because it's difficult to date, it's difficult to make these decisions on your fertility as a single man or as a single woman. Because you have to, it's like a double-edged sword. Like, what do I do? Like, I really want to be a mom, but I really, really want to get married and be, have that be the father of my child. But what if it doesn't come?
Right.
Do you understand? Like, are you going to sacrifice not being a mom, because you haven't found Mr. Right, because it's so difficult to date, like, and not so much difficult to date, but like, I also think it matters a lot, like what you do, like sometimes people ask me, like, well, Linda, are you actively dating?
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, nowadays it's the apps.
Okay.
Nowadays it's the apps. And I'm like, I have no patience. Do you think if I could copy and paste how my day was, maybe, but like, that's not real. That's not nice to do, right? Like, I want to give my undivided attention to someone. So actively dating means I should be on dates every other day or every weekend. And I'm not,
No,
so
dating now is you're having 5 people on your chat and you're constantly talking to them to figure out if you guys mesh.
but not even, it's so difficult. I have found it so difficult.
Yeah,
I
because
think
they only want sex.
no, not so much that. I think what you do, I think your choice of career and what you do on a daily basis has a huge influence to it. If I had, go in at 8 and I clock out at 4, I would have time for a date at 6. And because I clocked out, I'm done. I don't have Outlook on my phone, right? But say as a business owner, it's different. You're not done at 4, you're not done at 5, you're not done at 6. And say you are done at 6, right? So you no more, right? And then you get, an email that's kind of urgent at 6:30. You're like, let me attend to this now.
Yeah.
Right? Say it's 7, let me attend to this now. And on top of that, my industry is very emotional. So I could be done with work, like coordination and the legal, and I could be doing with all of that by 6, by 7. But then I'm curious if, Susie's first ultrasound today was good.
Right.
So then it's 7:38 and I'm like, hey, I'm just using Susie. Hey, Susie, how was the first ultrasound? So it becomes and it's very difficult to, kind of put like a hard line to that because you're a human being.
Right.
You're a human being and you want to know, like, oh my God, today was a pregnancy test. I'm so excited. I'm like, I even like light up candles on like very special days, on the embryo transfers, on the retrieval days. Like, it's such an emotional process, emotional field that I'm in versus transaction. I mean, it could be transaction if I wanted it to be, but it is emotional. I get emotionally attached. So going back to dating, you're done by 7, you check up on Susie by 7:30, you're hungry, right? You make dinner. Like, this is real life, right? You make dinner, you're done by 8:30. You call your best friend, by 8:39, your mom, just to kind of check in on them.
Right.
It's 9:30, it's 10, you're in bed. And then you do this all, like, this is reality, and could I put a hard stop and say, okay, now I'm going to focus? I could. And I have, I'm starting to do that.
And it's important because
It is.
he forces me to do that.
Yeah.
Before Luna, if a client texts me at 10 p.m.,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what does it cost you? Like, nothing.
I'm like, who are you on the phone with? What are you doing? We're spending time together. He's very much, again, I always say I married a straight man. He's very traditional. He's like, there's no phones or TV at the dinner table. At the dinner table, we talk about our day.
Yeah.
And that was hard because for my mom lives with us, and she's like, what do you in my head, I'm like, wait, no, dinner time means no one talks, we watch the novela.
Yeah.
Like Teresa's on.
Yeah.
So that's,
32-inch TV.
Yeah.
That's only about 200 square feet.
and before Luna, I work again. We'll do then it'll be regardless. We were ready to love a child no matter what. We wanted a family no matter what.
And then that's why we also didn't share with her that that Luna was actually the 3rd transfer.
Yeah, we kept those.
Yeah, we kept the 2nd transfer to ourselves, and then when it didn't happen,
We didn't tell her.
we didn't disclose it because we saw the emotional toll it kind of took, not only on us but also then on her, and it was just kind of like this thing where, again, those are things that no matter how much we talk about it, you're never unfortunately gonna know it until you're kind of like in that situation.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, I could have been fucking Bill Gates.
Yeah.
My mom didn't care. The fact that I was gay and I could not, and in her head, I was not going to produce an heir
Yeah.
that's genetically
And today,
mine.
if you were to say, "Hey, Mom, Luna's actually not mine," it's
Yeah.
she would love
Yeah,
her
yeah,
like
she
nothing
would,
had ever
yeah,
happened. Do you understand? Like, it's,
yeah.
I mean, it's,
You see, I don't know that.
oh, absolutely.
Oh, yes, she would.
Absolutely.
I don't.
It wouldn't
To her,
change
be like, "Oh, it doesn't matter
It
anymore."
wouldn't change
Well,
it.
anymore it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
She's mine.
But it was she was very adamant. Well, so whose sperm is gonna be? I said it's mine. Joe's allowing it to be me for the first try.
See, my
And I honestly believe it's cultural.
yeah, for sure. Like I tell my mom, you guys know, I absolutely want to have children in the future. And sometimes I tell my mom, I was like, listen, Mom, like I'm turning 34. My, age, I guess I'd probably say 38,
Okay.
where I would say, because I absolutely want to be a mom. And I'm not opposed to adoption.
Mm-hmm.
Me dice, me parece hermoso, muy lindo, that's nice, but have your own.
Yeah.
Have your own.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The good, and if I were to pay attention to those things, but that's also very like me.
Yeah.
I would be like, Mom, I don't care what you think. I'm going to do whatever I want. You're
Right,
going to love
right.
this child, whether it's adopted,
Yeah.
whether it's a foster child, whether it's my genetically child. Like, you will love that child.
Oh, 100%,
regardless.
yeah.
But yes, they do put that on you, and
Yeah.
like, okay, that's fine, Mommy. That's fine if you want to have a child on your own with donor sperm, but. Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you want to adopt, but why don't you try your own with your own, And I'm like, well, what does it matter? Like,
Yeah.
What does it matter if I adopt first and then I have?
Do you think that you're going to go the route of doing it alone, or do you think that you want to be?
I would, for sure. I mean, I would want to be in a relationship. For
But like,
sure.
do you feel like if you reach a certain age, you're like, all right, I'm not waiting for.
I would do it alone. Yeah, for sure. Because it's very important for me to have a child.
Yeah.
Whoever loves me and finds me, because I'm determined love is going to find me. I don't have to go for it. I don't have to actively date.
It's gonna hit you with a car. It's gonna hit you with a car.
I'm manifesting. So I think whoever finds me and whatever love that is going to love me, whether I'm alone, whether I'm with
100%.
a child.
100%.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't. But that's me, But I also think that another layer to that is I was raised by a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like,
I got
Well, if you did it, I could do this.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's funny.
Low-income family, like I'm pretty sure I could do it.
So was I, and I look at Luna and I'm just like, oh my god.
First of all, we look at Luna and we're
Oh
like,
my
how did our
God.
parents function?
Well, you make it work.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like
It was-
I
it-
absolutely want
it's
to be a mom, and
insane.
you make it work. You
Yeah.
figure
Parenthood
it
is
out.
stupid. It's
Yeah,
so
but
ghetto.
you figure it out. You
No.
figure
Really
it out.
is.
What we've decided is having more than one child is ghetto. That has been
No.
that is my new
not doing that.
That's my new saying. I'm trademarking it.
Yeah.
Having more than one kid is ghetto.
It's ghetto.
I love my daughter hands
We
down.
have a play date coming up, so instead of scheduling a play date, Joe decides I'm gonna invite the whole class to one play date.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have 12 different play
And you're
dates.
getting
I'm not
people
doing
saying,
that.
"Hey, can Sophia's little brother come? Is it okay?" And it's just like Joe's like, "Sure," but
Yeah.
it's like now it's more than I accounted for, and he's very like, "I have to."
It has to be
12
planned.
people.
Yeah.
12 people only.
Exactly.
The bounce house only fits 12 people.
Yeah. I need to get another bounce
Yeah.
house. No,
We need the extra
but
large, but
it's you don't. There's no manual to having.
And then
children.
it's
There's
like
no manual to how you
babysitting.
want to have
Yeah.
a baby, whether you want, surrogacy, do it on your own or adopt or again what we were talking about earlier, like live your own truth, whatever
Yeah.
it is, whatever it is. Stop listening to and I know it's difficult. Stop
yeah,
listening
yeah.
to
Society
your culture, to
has
society,
Yeah.
to mom. I mean, who's closer to our mom than we
Right,
are,
right.
But you just have to stop, because at the moment you choose your own truth, whether it is to be alone, whether it is to get married to that person, whether it is to have children or not have children, it's your truth. And when you live your truth, whether people like it or not, life is going to go on and
Yeah.
you're going to be happy.
Yeah.
And that my mom's going to love that adopted child just like she's going to love that genetically tied
Right,
child.
right.
I don't care.
Right.
It's my life, my truth, and this is what I want to live. So again, there's no manual to anything. This whole thing of how you should have children or how you should raise your kids. Forget about all that.
Yeah,
We are
yeah.
way past that. It's 2024, and it's only going to change from here.
Oh yeah,
Guaranteed.
every single thing changes. When we first started everything, you see pictures of me as a baby, and I'm sleeping face down. in the mattress. That we had Luna. Now she has to be on her back at all times. You can't have baby bumpers on the crib.
Yeah.
Now that she's older, no red dye in any of her food, no cornstarch. I'm like, give her
You
the
have to wear
gummies. Like,
socks
I
in the
don't
house.
care.
If not, you're gonna get gripe.
Yeah. It's like
So you need
So my mom
socks.
is, you have to have socks. No puedes caminar descalza because you get varices.
okay.
Is that not in this household?
No.
So
Here,
till
no,
this
here,
day,
no, here.
This one.
The
Here.
other day, I'm like, did I just get a lettuce because I fucking barefoot?
No.
From the kitchen to the bathroom.
No.
Damn, Mom.
And my mother-in-law says that if you don't have socks on while you walk into the house, la aire van a entrar su cuerpo y van a dar dolor. I don't know how the air is coming through our feet into our back. I'm not sure how that's happening, but it's happening.
Same thing but through the
Yeah.
head.
Oh, yeah.
You can't leave the house with wet hair porque ahí entra la gripa.
Yeah. You know.
I kid you not.
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
tell
yeah.
you.
But everything
that I won't
changes.
leave the house with
Yeah.
wet hair.
No.
Because we have these things in our
Yeah,
head that they put in
100%.
our
They're
head from such a early
implanted.
age.
They're implanted.
And you're like, man, Mom said no wonder I got sick.
Yeah,
man. It
my
that
hair was.
one
I didn't
day."
blow dry my hair before leaving the house.
Hey, cinta roja.
Yeah.
Oh, that
There
is
you
right.
go.
Para la protección.
Yeah.
100%.
Dude, it's so.
And
it
I'm 36,
changes,
and
but
I still.
somehow this is ingrained in
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
This is ingrained
Those
in
aren't
you. And
not
you're in a
necessarily
different-
bad
we're in a
things.
different
Yeah.
phase now. We're in 2024. You have a child.
Yeah.
And maybe you won't go with everything.
Yeah.
But certain things
Yeah.
you'll be like, Mami, deme la pulserita.
Yeah.
Oh no, hiccups. Coger un papel, saliva.
Oh,
On the
really? I
forehead.
never thought that.
Or
That was it.
Or they put a
You
penny on
had
the forehead.
hiccups. Puerto Ricans did
Yeah,
that.
we put a penny.
Really?
It would
Yeah.
be tissue or Bounty. Mom would lick it, or grandma would lick it, and put it on your forehead because you had hiccups.
Yeah.
And that's gonna how your saliva and paper with my forehead was going to remove a hiccup. I had no idea.
Wait, let's go back to the topic of fertility.
I can't even imagine. I can't even.
So this is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Of like to get rid of hiccups, Mom or Grandma has to lick a piece of paper and put it on your forehead.
Yeah.
This is the same advice that they're giving women to get pregnant.
Oh
way.
no.
I mean, no.
Oh, I was
Right.
like, they gotta put a
But
piece of
they
paper
have
on
their
the
They have
forehead.
their own thought process of like,
I-
well, you know, you can get pregnant right after you put your feet up in the air.
Yeah,
and, you know,
yeah.
you gotta eat this and you gotta drink this and you have to
Yes.
drink that. And I don't know, did you see Bridgerton?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, did you see the last episode
Yes.
where that mom is trying to get her two daughters
Yeah,
pregnant?
yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
make them drink this nasty
Like tea thing, yeah,
And then
yeah,
they
yeah.
find out that they weren't having sex.
Yeah.
What hole?
What are you talking about?
So that's a perfect
just cut off.
example of us listening to
Yeah.
our families,
Yeah.
society, our tias, or
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And they're telling us that we're not getting pregnant because we're not drinking that nasty tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not it, man. That's not it. I love you, Mom, and I love you, tias, and I love my culture. But stop it with the, with the licking of the paper and putting it on my forehead.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
these are the same things that they're telling us to do for fertility and how to get a child or whatnot. So again, you can listen to it, but it should go in one ear and out the other. And be
Yeah.
like, thank you, Ma.
Yeah.
I'll keep the receta for that pernil. but
yeah,
I'll keep that receta to
exactly.
get pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
So certain things you have to pick, and keep in your culture and keep in your household and keep in your life, and certain things you just have to say goodbye to.
Yeah.
And as a Christian and a spiritual, because I don't identify with a religion.
Yeah.
I say that again, we're sitting in a room full of evil eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed. The carpet's evil
Yeah.
eyes,
Yeah,
there's evil
yeah.
eyes there.
Yeah.
There's evil eyes there. So there's eyes everywhere on purpose in my room. So, we have our own beliefs.
Yeah.
And our own, you mentioned manifestation earlier. And it's something that I can't help but believe.
Yeah.
So some of the things that they say, I feel like it's a ritual. You know what I mean? Some religions will call it a sacrament. Some religions will call it a prayer. You know what I mean?
We'll call it manifestation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They
same
all
thing.
have different meanings. And I do believe that in the law of attraction.
Yeah.
So I feel like back in the day, that's what their law of attraction is. You're going to feel better if you do this. Like, I
Yeah.
remember, what was it that they
There
said?
was their own form of manifestation and
It
they were
was,
present
yeah.
because they believed
Because
in
they
it.
believed in it
But
and
stop
they
trying to teach
attracted.
that,
Yeah.
But I feel like we have our own now.
That's fine.
Again.
Create your own.
Yeah.
Create your own and don't.
100%.
I mean, if you believe in what mom and dad did and you,
But like,
then great.
it goes back to my surrogate. She went to a Facebook group and they said, "Oh, you're not getting pregnant? Try acupuncture before and after the procedure,
Yeah.
the transfer." And that's what she did with Luna. Before she did acupuncture and after she did acupuncture, and she believes it worked. Was it the acupuncture?
Maybe,
knows?
maybe not. But
Yeah.
you know what? You believed in it.
Or it might have just been the manifestation. Again,
Yeah.
believing so much that
I
this
believe that
works,
she was just
so
so
it's gonna work.
nervous.
Yeah.
As again, remember, she lives in Illinois.
Yeah.
She's getting flown to Connecticut, well, New York to go to Connecticut,
Yeah.
away from her 3 kids and her husband, doing this alone. Our bodies tell us when we're dehydrated. We went to go get IVs the other day, and he's on the most healthiest journey right now, and they couldn't find his vein. Not because he's drinking alcohol or poor diet, but it's because he's been doing so much sauna and so much sweating that his veins are literally dehydrated.
I understand. They used to pay me for my blood because I have like special blood.
Your
And
body
I'm like,
tells
stick me.
you.
She stuck me like 4 times, and I'm like, she's like, I never miss. I'm like, you missed 4 times, lady. Okay.
Come on, Susie.
Yeah.
I like to give everyone names.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
That's your thing.
Ashley.
In my head, I'm like, are these people in her real life that are gonna watch this and be like, bitch, stop using me as a
Stop using my
reference?
name. Come up with random names. But you're right. I mean, ultimately, it's your own manifestation, and what we were saying earlier, it's your own truth.
Yeah.
Believe in whatever you want to believe in. Stand behind whatever you want to stand behind. Stop listening to people on like, what works. Okay, that's cool if that works for you. That's cool if you have children and you love children, but I don't want to have children.
Right.
You understand? Like whatever your truth is, whatever that manifestation, whatever you own it. Own it and stop doing things for other people
Right,
because
right.
that's what they're telling you. That for me, yes, I do agree that children are life and that is happiness. But maybe
There's
it's not
people
for
out
other
there
people,
that they're
and
like,
that's
I
fine.
don't like kids.
Own whatever it is that you do. Own your own truth,
Right.
and that's it. Like that will. I think that is the only way for you to find happiness. I think that's the only way for you to find health. It's not just happiness. Like happiness, it's a domino effect. Health,
Right.
Well-being, spirituality, just being well aligned with yourself and choosing what you want to do. It's beautiful. Instead of listening to other people and having their pressure of like having children, not having children, using this specific card for manifestation. What if I like the other card?
Yeah.
What if I like the magician card?
Yeah.
Listen to yourself.
Yeah.
You know the answer to everything.
Yeah.
You know your
Yeah.
body.
Right.
Yeah.
When your body's dehydrated, listen to your body. If your body's asking for water, ask for water. If your body is asking for mimosa, grab a mimosa. Like whatever it is that your body's asking for.
Es viernes y hoy se bebe y el cuerpo lo sabe.
Exactly. Like, own your own truth.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I mean, listen to your body, listen to your soul, listen to your mind. Yeah, it's good to hear other people, right? It's good that you give me advice
Right.
on like what you do and how you should do it. I take that into consideration for sure.
But you don't have exactly.
But I don't have to.
And
I can say.
I
you
tell
know
my
what?
clients all the time, do as I say, not as I
Exactly.
do.
Exactly.
Because sometimes I feel like I should be looking at doing
Yeah.
75% of the things that I tell my clients I don't do for myself.
Or sometimes you do it in your own version. I think
Yeah.
that's my biggest thing. Like I love to talk to my mentors and talk to professionals and I hear what they say and what they're trying to tell me and I apply it, but in my own version.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? I don't do it exactly
Yeah,
how
there's no
they're
secret
telling me.
sauce.
No.
Right.
Like they're telling me the direction and I go that direction, but maybe I'm using a different route
Right.
to get there.
And
So
in
it's
your
fine.
and in your profession, it's similar to mine. Like I always say, no tax return is identical, which means no case, no parent, no journey for
never.
you is ever, especially because of the emotional roller coaster they're embarking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Never.
I thought I picked a boring career, and I didn't realize because I'm doing it in my own way.
Yeah.
It's not boring. It is emotional. I
You're
see
in
these
your
people. I
lives.
see these people once a year, and I catch myself crying because my client has cancer, and she says, I just want to see my son go to college, and graduate college. I start crying because when clients all I say is, how are you? And she breaks out in tears, and she's like, Joseph, I lost both of my parents last year. And it's like I have no other choice
Yeah.
but to sit there. So, and my staff criticizes me all the time.
I do all the time.
Joe
Criticize
criticizes
them
me all the time. Because they can see through the glass door. So they made fun of me in the last meeting because she was like, because a friend of mine, who I'm her accountant, had lost her job. She was furloughed, and she was a high net profile person. So it was a big, from a lot of money to no money. So I'm sitting there, cross my legs, and I'm listening. I'm providing therapy.
Yeah.
And that's not what I do.
No, you're not.
That's not what you do.
I'm not
You check on them,
Yeah.
and you again. Oh, you broke up with your boyfriend. You listen, and not many people understand that. If you say, and mind you, I have lawyers that have told divorce attorneys have told me, nope, cut the emotion. I stopped them right there. I said, you want me to listen to you? It's going to be part of the billable hours. So imagine me saying, hey, Linda, you can cry about the fact that your mom died, but I'm going to charge you an extra $150 for this on top of your normal bill. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like I am the human connection in business is it's really yin and yang.
No.
You have professionals that do it, and you have professionals that don't do it.
See, but then I look at it and I'm just like, well, we could have bought that beach house already if we would have just continued the hourly
But
billing.
it helps, and it's not
But I'm not-
emotional. For me,
Yeah.
it's I love listening to people
Yeah.
because I think ultimately that's what people.
Oh,
That's what not what they do. That's what we
Yeah.
want as
Yeah.
human
That's
beings.
what we-
want
that's how
someone to
we learn.
Listen to me. I know you're my tax professional, but I want to tell you about this terrible date I just went on yesterday. Just listen. If you listen to someone, take 5 minutes of your day.
Yeah.
Take 10 minutes. Take 15. I mean, as long as it's not becoming every single day,
Yeah,
it's a
no,
whole hour conversation.
I
then I will say, all right, start billing. But like, if it's a one-off thing, if
Yeah.
it's like, listen, I've had a terrible day. I've lost my mom. I lost, whatever it is. Like, listen to this person because again, we're not a transaction. These are human
beings. Yep, and we forget
these
that.
are human beings. Yes, they need your taxes, and eventually we're going to get to that minute 25. But the
Right.
first 24 minutes, can I tell you about such a terrible year that I've had?
Yeah.
And once you listen to that person, then we can get to business. And getting straight to business.
It will be the most simplest tax return that I spend the most time on because I'll listen to them, and again, everything, divorce, and it's funny because then I'll have clients or couples that I look at with children, or that are struggling. I have clients that are struggling on the fertility journeys. They're not getting pregnant. They're trying all these options.
Yeah.
I remember the year that I got pregnant, a client of mine who I knew was struggling also got pregnant. And I was very happy. I hugged her. COVID happened. Didn't see her the following year. And I learned that she lost the baby. And I couldn't help but saying, like, for the last 15 years, I've been knowing how much you wanted to be a mom. And you've been pouring all your energy. I see the money that's going on because, again, when a woman is trying to get pregnant and she has expenses associated to that pregnancy, it's a medical write-off, so they can write that off. So I'm seeing.
Any of my clients for listening to this?
Because again,
Yeah.
I've had lesbian couples that I'm like, yes, you can write this off. I can't do it for a gay couple, for a male couple,
So unfortunate.
because they're not technically supposed to have a baby.
It's not considered a medical necessity.
It's not a medical necessity. Let's remember the rule: ordinary, reasonable, and necessary. For two men, that's how the law looks at it.
Yeah.
So, but because there's a female in the relationship, lesbians get to not only write off the medical expense, but they can also get to tap into their insurance. So their insurance
There's
can pay
something
for
natural
it.
for women to do is essentially
Have a baby. So if you have a child, it's a medical complication.
So many ways.
Yeah. And again, I don't ever
So
feel.
hold on, two women who are going through IVF and pay $40,000.
His cousin paid a total of what to get pregnant, to have a baby?
like
I want to say 4,000 the most.
yeah.
Out of pocket.
The rest of the insurance paid for everything else.
Say their insurance doesn't.
Yeah.
180.
If they spent 180,000, you could write off the 180,000.
But two men can't.
No, 180 to have Luna.
No,
No write off.
something like that. Yeah.
Oof. I mean, it's no different than health insurance. You know,
Yeah.
health insurance will cover a woman who's trying to get pregnant.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they can tap into their insurance,
yeah.
and if there was out-of-pocket
Health
expense,
insurance
it's
is the
considered a medical
same
expense.
way,
Yeah.
right? It
I
gets
can't
taxed.
consider it a medical expense.
Yeah.
Wow.
My journey is not a medical expense.
No.
Wow. Well, let's advocate for that. How do
Oh.
we? And
Well,
kinda-
I'm not having any more kids, and so I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, it goes to the same topic of every single tax season.
But
we
these
always
are
ask,
these
what about my pet?
blurry areas.
What about my pet?
What about my dog?
No,
Exactly.
what about my cat?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's my dependent. Like,
But I tell people all the time, okay,
depends on me.
I said you get I have a client that went through all the hoops, but he didn't do it for the tax purposes. He did it for the flying purposes because he likes to travel. So he takes his
Emotional support
Yorkie
animal.
and it has the cutest ID with her little picture on it and everything, and it says Cookie on it. 'Cause that's her name.
The emotional
First of all, I
support
hate listen. I hate when you name a pet after a dessert. Like we've always named our pets after regular names, like never a car. So
It's not Remington, it's Remington.
From New York.
well,
We're ghetto. If we're thinking Remy Ma
We're low
instead of
key ghetto.
Remington.
We're not out loud ghetto.
no.
We're introverted.
What is
ghetto.
it that you like to
have
say?
changed
I'm gonna
now.
hold on. Let's cancel Joe right now. What is it you like to say about people naming their daughters after foreign cars?
Don't name your child after a car that they're never gonna drive. That's what I say. I hate that. Don't name your child
Hopefully
Chanel
never.
if they're never gonna carry a Chanel. I just
Yeah, it does.
I think it's a little tacky.
Don't name her Porsche. She's not gonna drive a Porsche.
Or if she doesn't fit in a Porsche. That's the other problem.
I know. I need my cat.
We're not adding that out, by the way. I want that on there. That stays.
I'm already canceled.
Oh, fuck canceled culture. I'm so
Yeah.
over all that.
I know.
But it's true. Like when we talk about pets, like I tell people, like, listen, the only way the IRS is going to acknowledge it as a write-off is if it's an emotional support animal.
Wait.
I had a client that the dog was trained.
My emotional support animal.
Who?
We have to talk about it during our next quarter meeting.
Yeah.
Coco is my emotional support animal.
Like medically.
Yeah.
No, like in audit, I need
I have
like,
an
a
actual-
medical prescription saying that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I have a letter from a psychologist saying that he's my emotional support.
it has to be
Wait,
So
the-
now he can travel.
So
with you.
now you have to
He
go.
just hates it.
Yeah. So.
So now his maintenance, so like the vet bills
Yeah.
are considered medical bills. The
PetSmart, all his food.
No food and stuff like
food
that.
is
No.
not
Chunky.
food and toys are not anything. Whatever you spend to keep it alive, except for food.
Except for
Except for
food,
food.
Come on. The cats don't go to the
Now,
vet.
if you have him on a prescription diet, different story.
He does need a prescription diet
Yeah.
too. because-
I go to these.
All right, now we know, Coco. We're about to help mommy now.
Yeah.
But the other way of also writing off an animal is if, let's say, for example, I had a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
And my tools are expensive, so I have this pit bull in my shop, and I use it as security. Or I have an office that has a mice problem, and I get a cat. Then now
Wow.
Yes. So I mean, that's been the long question. I'm glad you brought it up. I never just thought to think about it, but
Everyone to listen
you
to
brought
me
it
now,
up.
I'm like-
You brought it up, and I forget that this is something that all my life since I started in this business. Can I write off my dog? I heard that we can put. Obama said we could put pets as dependents. I'm like, no, Obama didn't say that. Stop lying. Stop listening to Univision, please. No, you can't. But then, as I learned, I'm like, wait a minute, pets can be a write-off, but it
I live
depends
in a New
how.
York City basement because we all know that there's going to be
And you work from home.
And I have Coco and Coco's security.
So
being all the time.
there's certain things.
well,
like, for example,
Lily, like the schnauzers are originally farm dogs.
they're hunters. Yeah.
They're hunters, and the reason why their coats
Yeah.
Like a skirt.
it was like a skirt because if field mice try to bite them, they're only biting fur. They're not biting them.
Oh, wow.
It's meant to distract the field mice.
So with all of these,
So
things,
they actually
especially
hunt.
with like animals, they have to have some sort of credential behind it. So for example, if we were looking at before getting a golden doodle, I wanted a Doberman Pinscher. So those are known to be guard dogs.
Yeah.
So there's an actual place where I can buy a Doberman pincer that's already trained to do security, to protect, to things like that. If I just go to the shelter and I pick up a pit bull and try to put that as, my guard dog.
I can't call Bruno a guard dog.
Yeah, Bruno.
Who is he guarding?
It's a 4-pound chihuahua. He's not guarding anything. Yeah.
What is he guarding?
Yeah.
And your business needs something to be guarding. Again, I can't write it off in a tax office. What is he gonna guard? A shredder?
Yeah.
Everything's digital. What is he guarding?
The microwave. Any leftovers?
Ordinary, reasonable,
Guard
necessary.
food that's dropping from my desk to the floor.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This was fun.
This was fun.
I like this.
I think I can do this.
I love that this was so like unrehearsed. Like
I didn't
with
even
you,
know.
we
Unscripted.